Introducing GForceTV. GForceTV.net is your new source for action overload. Featuring free live programming year-round and countless hours of on-demand video, GForceTV will be your first stop whenever you want to see the latest and hottest racing action. See live Friday Night Excitement weekly from Washougal Speedway and watch the stars of tomorrow make a name for themselves during Thursday night's live microsprint racing. GForceTV is also the new home for Rivals Race Chat. Watch weekly as Clinton Jeffrey and Adam Ross discuss all the hot topics in the world of motorsports. For iRacing fans, GForceTV has you covered with hours of live broadcasting from Rivals and GForceTV racing leagues. GForceTV promises to deliver motorsports, esports, and action sports you want to see, along with talk shows and vlogs to keep you connected to the lifestyle you love. Visit GForceTV.net today to subscribe for free. Sit back, hold on, and feel the G's on GForceTV.
Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another edition of the GeForce Racing League's Thursday Night Thunder is here, and we are back at Volusia Speedway this week with some Epsilon Sprint Wrap Big Block Modifieds. Good evening, everyone. I'm Scotty DeYoung. Sean Neisted will be along here shortly. Coming to you from Volusia here tonight, as we have some Epsilon Sprint Wrap Big Block Modifieds about to do battle here in just a little bit. I want to welcome you to the Gambler Motors pre-race show, and I want to remind you Gambler Motorsports is an esports racing team that competes weekly across the iRacing platform. The team has drivers entered in dirt races, sports cars, asphalt, oval, you name it, they're in it. They compete in endurance races as well, even had drivers in the prestigious 24-hour of Daytona and Le Mans. Go check them out on Facebook at Gambler Motorsports and give them a like and a follow. Looking down at the track right now, you see it is a different type track. Last week we were at a paperclip track at Williams Grove, and tonight we're at Volusia. Not quite a perfect oval, more of a little bit of a D-shaped track. The backstretch does not straighten out like it would on a, quote, normal track. But nonetheless, this is a very fun track to be on. We were here with the SPGC 3D Printing Renegade 360s here on Monday night. And what a show they put on. And here tonight with the Big Block Modifieds, and this track produces nothing but great racing and speed. Who will come home with a gator tonight when the final checkered flag flies? Well, we'll find out after tonight's Epsilon Sprint Wraps A feature event. Let's take a look at the point standings here this season so far. That is brought to you by the iRacing League Manager. If you run or manage an iRacing League, let iRacing League Manager make it easy for you. Go to iRacingLeagueManager.com for more information. Take a look at the points here. The 013 of Kyle Parker sits atop of the leaderboard with 610 points. Sitting in second is Justin Sick. Third is Nicholas Vickery. Fourth is Jeffrey Barker. And 5 is Francis Major. Sitting sixth is Steve Shaw, Sr. 7th is John Hine. 8th is GJ Boydell. Philip Gom in 9th. And AJ Abreda, who is currently quickest in practice here, rounds out the top 10. We want to thank you for joining us here tonight for this live coverage from Volusia Speedway on the GeForce Racing Leagues. And welcome to GeForce Esports right here on YouTube, whereas we will have another broadcast tomorrow. And tomorrow they bring you Spartan Racing, I should say. They bring you pro late models tomorrow night. Check that on out with a call from Joe White. I think he's here. Sean, are you here?
I am. Hi. Hello. How are you?
Doing good, Sean. Doing good. You've Missed the last couple weeks, but glad to see you are back and ready to call some great action here from Volusia.
Oh, I am. These Epsilon Sprint Wraps Big Block Modified, certainly a class I have been missing, and so glad to be here. Volusia is one of my favorite tracks, Scotty, as we've talked about multiple times. I really love the racing that this puts on, and it is always an entertaining racetrack. You have so many different angle options that give you the opportunity to get a run at a guy, and it may not pay off immediately. I'm talking about going in a little bit higher into turn number 1 allows you to get a little tighter on the bottom of turn number 2, and there's subtle differences. But it really pays off then if you get to turn 3, which is that big sweeping back straightaway. And that's what I really enjoy about this racetrack is there's so much mental planning and mental moves. This is a high-speed chess match when you roll into Volusia. I thoroughly enjoy the racing at this racetrack, particularly with these big blocks.
And especially with the track being so characteristic as well, like you mentioned, different options of where you can run on this track. But the most important thing, though, usually when we're up to speed racing, there is 3 multiple grooves of racing at this track as well, which gives you so many, like you said, ways to think of how to maneuver your car and navigate this fun and fast track.
And that plays right back into what I was talking about there, Scotty, is the mental aspect of this sport. We always talk about drivers doing driving things, and there's a lot of great drivers in these G-Force racing leagues. We talk about setup. Well, you know what? We've got relatively fixed setups here tonight. You can choose your car. So, relatively everyone's on about the same thing here tonight. So that leaves that one last aspect, and that's the mental part of this. It's the physical attributes of being a driver to be able to handle the race car at the speeds that we'll see tonight, but also to make the right decisions, to keep your nose clean, to know when to change lines. That's a big part of the racing here at Volusia, and I think that particularly with the setups that we have here, we didn't have equal setups for everybody when we visited with the big blocks last season here to Volusia Speedway. I think tonight that is something we're really going to watch here. Is it's just going to be subtle. I'm not talking wholesale lane changes. I'm talking subtle changes to corner entry or corner exit are going to pay off big for some drivers.
That it will, as that checkered flag flies on practice. We are getting into our VMR Wraps qualifying session now. And VMR Wraps, if you are looking to get a wrap here for your iRacing car, VMR Wraps is looking to fulfill your iRacing paint needs. Their company is made up of several painters across the U.S. that allows them to specialize in multiple paint styles across any car type. If you're looking to get a new paint, please check them out on Facebook at VMR Wraps.
Sweet. So we'll get into that qualifying effort. As we know, Scotty, qualifying always so important with these big blocks to make that invert, get a good starting spot for the heat races and the main event. With such equal competition here, we know just how important these qualifying efforts can be, particularly here at Volusia, big high-speed racetrack that is going to carry a lot of speed. You might not see a lot of mistakes out of your fellow competitors tonight, so you really got to come out of the gate right away in these VMR Wraps qualifications here tonight and be right there on top of your game.
That you do as Steven Speed's 55 car, your current quick timer so far. Steve Shaw Sr., second AJ Abreu, was fastest in practice, currently sits third. As watching Speeds take a second lap here. Now looking at Justin Sick. That 15 car has been on fire this season so far.
Yeah, always fun to watch Justin Sick and just how great he is with these big blocks. Of course, he got the win back on week number 4 at the dirt track at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. Sits number 2 in the point standings, just 20 behind Kyle Parker coming into tonight's action. So that'll be kind of a race within a race here, Scotty, as we've only got 3 nights of racing left for these big blocks when we roll out of here with the winner here at the Volusia Speedway. USA Speedway, I'm rarity. I really like the racing at USA here on iRacing. That's next Thursday night for these Epsilon Sprint Wraps big blocks.
Yes, it is. And USA, Sean, we've seen it with street stocks, modifieds, 360 and 410 sprint cars. That track is really fun, but also got to be careful and make sure you are hitting your marks at that track, or it will definitely make a driver out of you. Following USA, we have Weed Sport, and then rounding off the season with Cedar Lake.
Season championship for these cars at the Cedar Lake Speedway as we continue on tonight in VMR Reps qualifications. I can tell you, and I can tell our producer, I'm at 54%. So feel better right now. We're coming right through. I made a stop at the concession stand. I'm almost here. And this Florida traffic just had me behind schedule here tonight, Scotty.
Well, I can tell you this: your current points leader, Kyle Parker. He is your quick timer here tonight as we are going to roll right into heat race action here. Heat race number 1 coming to you from A&J Custom Creations, who specializes in laser engraving and CNC machining. A&J puts its craftsmanship to work in every wood, trophy, and plaque they produce, and also provide the trophies and plaques to all of the GForce Racing League Division champions. Contact Andy Patton to order your custom creation today.
Awesome. Looks like cars starting to form up for heat race number 1. And I can tell Ryan, our producer, I'm here. Things are ready to go. Things look good on my end. And I can give you a look at the starting lineup, Scotty. If you have access to the lineup, let me know. But
I do not.
Okay, so Jesse Atkinson, the Atkinson Designs 135. He'll be on the pole. Alan Duranko, the 109 outside the opening row. Row 2, that's Jeffrey Barker on the inside, the 513. Kyle Parker, your quick timer tonight in the 013. He'll start 4th on the grid. 3rd row, the 181, Jeffrey Kemper inside. He'll start 5th. Chad Cote, the 11 machine. He starts 6th on the grid. To the 4th row, that's Chase Hess, the 767 inside, and his Canadian counterpart to the right, that's Troy Stewart in the 117. 9th and final starter is Chris Steele in car number 80. So those are the cars lined up, ready to go for tonight's A&J Custom Creations Heat Race number 1 here at the Volusia Speedway.
Missed out on Monday night, Sean, with the Monday Night Madness. This track was bad, fast, 3 lines of racing. Lots of slide jobs were handed out, and ultimately it was Kyle Moonen walking away with the victory. Lane Snook coming home in that 2nd place spot. So the Vanderbilt boys on top once again here at Volusia. Let's see what these big blocks can do here tonight from home of the Gators down there in Florida.
Yes. Hey, I was working this last weekend with the crew from Dirt Vision, and of course, they spent ample amount of time down in Florida with the speedways down there. They told me the gators at the gator pond, I'm from South Dakota, I'm all afraid of the gators. They're like, nah, these gators just hang out in the pond all day. They want nothing to do with the people. So I feel a little better about Volusia after hearing that. Set to go. Green flag is out. 8 laps the distance on our heat races here tonight, Scotty. Top 4 going to go directly to the A main and look at the 135 of Jesse Atkinson out to the early race lead.
Out to the early race lead, but 3 wide right behind them with Barker, Parker, and the 09 Atkinson. Or Duranko, excuse me.
Say all of that 10 times fast.
Yes. Those are your current top 4 as Atkinson still with the race leading car, 135. Duranko hot on his heels in the 109.
So right now, Duranko runs in 2nd. Parker and Barker, they run 3rd and 4th. Right now, the 181 of Jeffrey Kemper and the 11 of Chad Cote, they battle for the 5th spot. That's 1 out of a transfer. Their side by side is Troy Stewart and Jeffrey Kemper. Chase Hess enters that mix deep in the field as well. Out front, showing the way, 5 to go, the 135 of Jesse Atkinson.
Atkinson is showing the way here, but back behind him, great battle for 2nd. Kyle Parker and Duranko were side by side for a moment, but Duranko got the better run. He'll retain that 2nd place spot as we're going to go on the nose of Kyle Parker here, looking forward, trying to get to the inside of that 109. Cannot do so as the 109 of Duranko following Atkinson in the tail tracks. Here comes Parker, though, to the inside, looking to make a power move off of turn number 4. Can't quite get there.
The laps clicking away, down to 3 to go, still side by side for that second spot. The 109 of Alan Duranko holding off Kyle Parker in the 13 machine for the time being as Jesse Atkinson continues to show the way. Tip of the green flag, 2 laps to go on this one. It is 0.2 of a second lead for Atkinson over Duranko, but right now that battle still rages on down the back straightaway. They'll make their way to the white flag. Duranko and Parker still battling right behind Atkinson.
Still battling for that second place spot, but they are transferees so far as the white flag flies. One more lap to go. Atkinson still with the race lead. Parker still working to the inside of Duranko. Jeffrey Barker, that fourth and final transfer, a little bit distance back to fifth place. As 3-car battle for the lead coming off turn 4 in the heat race win. Atkinson will get it. Duranko in second. Kyle Parker in third, and Jeffrey Barker rounding out your top 4.
So a good finish there on our opening A&J Custom Creations heat race number 1. The results go official with the cars going across the scales, and Jesse Atkinson, your winner. Alan Duranko, Kyle Parker, and Jeffrey Barker are your transfer spots. Chad Cote comes home 5th, Troy Stewart 6th, Jeffrey Kemper 7th, Chase Hess 8th, and Chris Steele finishes in 9th. Ryan, you should have graphics from me at this point, I think. Oh, all right. They're up and running. We're good. Everybody's feeling good. So let's take a look at the starting lineup here on heat race number 2 here tonight. And that is Justin Sick, the Fur Motorsports car number 15S on the pole position. Next to him, the 14 of GJ Boydell.
And inside room 2 is the 322 of AJ Abreda to the outside, the 55 of Steven Spees.
Third row, it's Tom the Print Man Taylor in the number 14 machine. He'll start 5th on the grid. And Lane Snook, the 123 machine representing Bandybuilt Racing, he'll start 6th on the grid.
The insider run report driving the 71 car. That is a cruise shop of John Hine to the outside, the 661 of Terry E. Landis.
Final starter from P9. That'll be the 189 of John Vaught. That is your starting lineup. Heat race number 2 on the Speedway here tonight for the Epsilon Sprint Reps Big Block Modifieds, as they will get the green off of turn number 4. Of course, heat race number 2 is brought to us by Howard Hanna Real Estate and Scott Hurwitz, who's a multi-million-dollar commercial and residential real estate agent and has been so for years. He'll help anyone in the U.S. find the experienced professional realtor anywhere across the country, and he'll make sure that they ask the right questions to get you the best house for the best price. That's Scott Hurwitz at Howard Hanna Real Estate, the number 1 family-owned and operated independent broker in the U.S.
So set to go green here from Volusia, and we do. And look at the start from Justin Sick in that 15 car, sitting second in the points right now, but first on the racetrack. Out to the race lead, he is Abreda in second, Boydell and Spees, your top 4. Tom Taylor currently rounding out your top 5.
Yeah, but Tom Taylor, though, he's got his hands full. The 123 of Lane Snook working to his outside. Just in front of them, G.J. Boydell and Steven Spees side by side for the 3rd spot. And they remain side by side. So 3rd and 4th side by side, 5th and 6th side by side. Now Lane Snook, he'll win the battle over him and Tom Taylor. So Lane Snook now in the 5th spot and starts to work over the 55 of Steven Spees, hoping to get into that final transfer spot.
Just like Noah in the Ark, here they come 2 by 2. Still out in front, though, with the race lead is Justin Sick. Abreda still running in second, trying to run down the 15. 14 of Boydell. Oh, contact is made as Abreda. He's going to fall all the way back to that 8th place spot. Steven Spees up to second. Boydell in third. Lane Snook now holding on to that 4th and final transfer spot on the 123.
Still a good battle there as Snook all over Boydell. Spees in that 2nd spot. Justin Sick, meanwhile, he's checking out. He's out to nearly 7/10 of a second lead. Snook to the inside of Boydell, looking for 3rd. Right behind Steven Spees. Lane Snook on the move. The 123 machine on the bottom. Here comes Tom Taylor. He'll put his name battle. 2.5 laps to go as they hit turn number 3.
SPGC 3D printing 14 car of Tom Taylor on the outside looking in. Wants a transfer spot to tonight's A main. Dick has all but walked away with this heat race here. Spees in second. Snook still working on the 14 of Boydell as they come through the corner. Off turns 3 and 4, Justin Stick will get the heat race win.
Oh, final lap. Checkered going to fly here off of turn number 4. But you're right, Justin Stick going to get the win. Steven Spees crosses second. Snook and John Hine will be your top 4 transfers on that one, as they have punched their tickets to tonight's Epsilon Sprint Wraps Big Block Modified feature event. And heat race number 3 waits in the staging area as they get their belts tightened up. We'll take a look here in a moment at your official finish from tonight's Howard Hanna Real Estate heat race number 2 as the drivers make their way pit side on that one. The results coming on your screen here at the Volusia Speedway. For heat 2, 6 Spees, Snook, Hine. They go to the main. Taylor, Landis, Abreda, Boydell, and Vaught, the rest of the finishing order. Heat race number 3, ready to roll onto the racetrack here tonight for these Epsilon Sprint Wraps Big Block Modifieds. And the starting lineup, the 32-0 with Tom Gom behind the wheel. He'll be on the pole position. Next to him, that is Nicholas Vickery in car number 00.
Row 2 is going to see Kyle Moonen in the 24 car to the inside of the outside. Steve Shaw Sr. in car 54.
Third row, that's Connor Ross, the 35 inside. Rory Collins next to him. He drives the number 62.
Andrew Smith on the 79 to the inside of row 4, and rounding out your field, your 8th and final starter, the number 30 of Stephen Goldner.
That's the starting lineup for heat race number 3, brought to us by Coast to Coast Racing Team. Coast to Coast Racing Team, they feature drivers from coast to coast in the U.S. and Canada. They're pleased to be part of the GeForce Racing Leagues, and they have been here since its inception. Coast to Coast, bringing us heat race number 3. You know, the next season, Scotty, that we work here with the GeForce Racing Leagues, we got to get Coast to Coast to stay on, but we got to have Coast to Coast do heat race number 2, right? Wouldn't that make sense?
Yes. Yes.
That's how my brain works. See, it's weird how my brain works. Right now, the number to think about, though, isn't 2, it's 4. Here in heat race number 3, top 4 going directly out of 8 laps with 7 cars making the call for the start here. Gom, Vickery, side by side, bringing us to the green. Pace truck goes in, and the green flag in the air. We're underway on our Coast to Coast Racing Team heat race number 3.
Tom will lead him into turns 1 and 2. There's that 2 again, Sean. But you know, 2 and 2 make 4. Vickery looking to the outside, trying to grab that race lead as Moonen and Shaw still 2 by 2. Collins a little bit slideways through 3 and 4. Coming off turn 4, though, it is Tom Gom, your race leader.
Right now, 5 might be the number. Top 5 starting to break away here. You can put a blanket over that group as the 35 of Connor Ross works to the outside of Steve Shaw Sr. for the final transfer spot. A little touch there, and we've got trouble there in turn 4. Nicholas Vickery into the inside wall. Andrew Smith collected in the incident as well. That shakes things up. Tom Gom, your leader. Kyle Moonen still all over him. Steve Shaw Sr., top 3 cars breaking away. Connor Ross has that final transfer spot.
As they are almost 3 wide off turn number 4, going on board with Shaw here, looking forward to Kyle Moonen. Shaw distance back now. You see Kyle Moonen now taking a peek to the inside of 320 of Gom, and Moonen is there to the inside. Cannot get the run off turn number 4 that he needed. But Gom still with the race lead. Gom better in 1 and 2. Moonen seemed a little bit better in 3 and 4, but could not complete the run. Shaw still there with him, though. Great 3-car battle up front.
Yeah, Shaw will work to the inside here off of turn number 4 as we come to 3 laps to go. So that Mike's Delivery 54 may have something to say on this one before the checkered flag drops on it. Working to the inside of Kyle Moonen down the back straightaway and into turn number 3. Connor Ross still runs 3rd, but Rory Collins keeping him honest back there. Make that Ross running in the 4th spot. That's the final transfer position. Meanwhile, out front, top 3 cars still working each other over each and every corner, Scotty.
Still, they are. Moonen got a better run off turn number 2 that time by looking to the inside quarter panel of the 320 at Gom. Off of turn number 4, Moonen still can't get the run that he needs as a white flag comes out one more time around. Moonen trying to get a run off 2. Can he quite get there? No, he will not. possibly going to throw a haymaker here in turns 3 and 4. Gom still committed to the middle to the top side. Shaw there as well. That's how they will finish. Gom taking home your heat race win. Moonen in second, Shaw in third. And I believe your fourth and final transfer spot went to Connor Ross in the 35.
Yeah, some good racing there. A little rubbing going on in heat race number 3, but nonetheless, checkered flag is going to fall on that one. And picking up the victory of our third and final heat race, Tom Gom. Kyle Moonen second, Steve Shaw, Rory Collins in the transfer spots. Connor Ross, Nicholas Vickery, Andrew Smith, and Stephen Goldner get to run some bonus laps in SBGC 3D printing consolation action. And speaking of, it's time for that event, Scotty. The field already starting to form up out there on the speedway.
That they are. We'll have the starting lineup to you right now, and here is how it goes. Starting on the pole is going to be Chad Cody in the 11 car. To the outside, the 14. That is the SBGC 3D printing car of Tom Taylor.
Connor Ross, the 35, inside the second row. Troy Stewart next to him in the 117.
Terry Edlandis inside of row 3 in the 661. To the outside, the 00 of Nicholas Vickery.
To the fourth row, it's Jeffrey Kemper on the inside in the 181. Outside of him, AJ Abreda and car 322.
Andrew Smith in the 79 to the inside of row 5. To the outside, the 767 of Chase Hess.
The 11 starters, GJ Boydell, he drives the 14 ride. Stephen Goldner in the 30, he'll start 12th.
Starting 13th is going to be the 80 of Chris Steele. To the outside, the 189 of Daniel Vaught.
That's your starting lineup for the SBGC 3D printing consolation feature here tonight from the Volusia Speedway. We've put 12 drivers into the feature event, so 12 more tickets up for grabs on this one, Scotty. And, of course, drivers always running for those valuable starting spots. SBGC 3D printing, they are committed to making 3D printing accessible to anyone who has an idea that needs to be manufactured. They use their 3D CAD program, and they'll work with you to create your invention or your creative project. That's SBGC 3D printing, bringing you the B main here tonight of the Epsilon Sprint Wraps Big Block Modifieds. 10 laps is the distance, Scotty. The field making their way towards the starting line.
That they are. Wally will bring it on into the infield. As the green flag comes out, we are consolation feature action. Look at the start Tom Taylor had in the 14 car. Contact being made a little farther on back, but we are still green. Taylor with the race lead. Great side-by-side battle from second on back.
Yeah, they were 3 wide and not afraid to do it. They were shaping up to do it again for the second spot. The 35 of Connor Ross in the middle. Here comes the 322 of Abreda to the bottom. Troy Stewart trying to work the top. That happening right in front of Nicholas Vickery, who's in the 5th spot. Tom Taylor likes what he sees behind him as they battle fast and furious. He rips the car. Same style off of turn number 4. 8 laps remaining on this one. Taylor continues to show the way.
Taylor not looking back in that SBGC 3D printing 14 car. Still a great run here early on in consolation feature action. About to have company, though. And that would be in the form of the 35 of Connor Ross. Abreda sits third, Vickery in fourth. Stewart rounding out your top 5. Still a whale of a battle. Anyone's race here.
Yeah, interesting here watching AJ Abreda run in the consolation feature event in that 322 machine as he runs there in position number 3 and gets challenged from Nicholas Vickery. Abreda with feature wins this year in this division at the Knoxville Raceway, also at Bristol. So right now, a little bit of unfamiliar ground for the driver of that machine. The dry zone 22 as he'll run in third as they go back to turns 1 and 2.
Turns 1 and 2 down the backstretch now into turn number 3. Taylor still with that race lead. Abreda running in that third place spot, trying to run down the 35 of Ross. Vickery and Stewart now rounding out your top 5. Abreda up to second. Ross shuffled back to third. Stewart and Vickery trading jab for jab here as they're battling it out for 4th and 5th.
Yeah, Connor Ross isn't done. He comes back after Abreda, but this race for third. Wow, that just got wild to make that the 4th spot. Troy Stewart has it in the 117. The 00 of Nicholas Vickery all over him. That happens right in front of Chad Cote in the 11 machine. Tom Taylor still out front. His lead is 0.3 of a second over AJ Abreda. Abreda trying to reel in your race leader with 2 laps to go.
There's those mental games that you were talking about early on the show, Sean, making sure you hit your marks and trying to outdrive the other drivers here on these fixed setups here with these big block modifieds. As Tom Taylor, he is going to look at the white flag this time by, and he's got company. Looks like the 322, I believe, of Abreda sliding up in front of the 14 now. Down the backstretch into turn 3 and 4 for the final time. Abreda will get the consolation win. Tom Taylor running in that second spot. Ross in third, Stewart fourth, and Chad Cody your top 5.
How about AJ Abreda in that one? Started 8th on the grid, and he'll drive up there for the victory in tonight's SPGC 3D printing B main, and he'll roll from position 13 in tonight's main event. We'll have a quick look here at your SPGC 3D printing B main results here tonight, as we'll get a peek of them at the screen. Abreda, Taylor, Ross, Stewart, Cote, the top 5. You see the rest of the finish out there as well. Coming up next, your Epsilon Sprint Wraps Big Block Modified main event from the Volusia Speedway. It's right here on GeForce TV. And right after these messages, stay with us.
I love being home.
It all starts with the right house. That's where we come in. Howard Hanna.
I love
Home happens here.
being home.
People want to have a one-stop shop. They need us for now all these different services, not just the heating and air side.
When things are going wrong, you want the company that's going to be able to get things done as fast as possible for you.
Today, we're going to be in over 600 homes. What the customers can count on is we're going to send a competent person to your home with a vehicle that's stocked and prepared. We're going to do what's right.
Right now, we're waiving our $79 service fee with any Cool-Ray, Brightbox, or Mr. Plumber service.
I love being home.
From finding the perfect house to making it your home, we'll be with you every step of the way. Howard Hanna.
I love
Home happens here.
being home.
Welcome back to the Volusia Speedway tonight with the Epsilon Sprint Wraps Big Block Modifieds. I'm Sean Niestead. With me tonight, Scotty DeYoung. Scotty, you get to head to the Wagner Speedway tomorrow night. Tomorrow night, I'll be at the Jackson Motorplex in Jackson, Minnesota with the Northern Outlaw Sprint Association sprint cars. Saturday night, we get to work together in the real world. Northern Outlaw Sprint Association 410 season opener at I-90 Speedway, Hartford, South Dakota. You can watch it live on AdvantageRacing.tv. So if you want to watch some 410 sprint cars, modifieds, stock cars, late model street stocks, IMCA sprint cars, that's all Saturday night, AdvantageRacing.tv. And then Sunday night, Houston Speedway. I will be there with the 410 sprints, IMCA sprints, late model street stocks. You can watch that on Dirt Vision. And of course, Scotty, you'll be with Advantage TV on Sunday night, and you can watch that Raceway Park. You can watch that on Advantage Racing TV. Boy, is it good to have racing season going here in the upper Midwest.
Oh, yes, it does. And to add to the Sunday show, Sean, at New Raceway Park, the repairablevehicle.com Tri-State late models invade the High Bank Bull Ring. So it is going to be a fun show at the New Raceway Park. It's going to be fun at Houston, where you're at. Really looking forward to working with you out in the real world on Saturday. Oh, let's get this racing weekend started. But first, we have an A feature lineup coming to us right now from Volusia Speedway with your Epsilon Sprint Reps Big Block Modifieds.
Epsilon Sprint Reps. If you're looking to stand out from the competition, Epsilon Sprint Reps creates tailor-made graphics and logos to fit your personal taste. They've got a focus on realistic design. You'll look like you drove off of your local dirt track right into iRacing. Champions choose Epsilon Sprint Reps. We'll have our Cool Rays, cooling, heating, plumbing, and electrical hard charger award up for grabs here tonight as well. And if we get a caution flag or a replay, that's brought to you by Malcolm's Mills Millwrighting at mmmillwrighting.com. All of tonight's action brought to us by Epsilon Sprint Reps as we get set for tonight's main event here from the Volusia Speedway for the Epsilon Sprint Reps Big Block Modifieds. Week number 9 main event, and it goes like this for the starting lineup for 30 laps.
Jesse Atkinson on the pole in car 135 to the outside. He sits second place in the points currently. That is the 015 of Justin Sick.
Starting third, it's the 32-0 of Tom Gom, and next to him, Alan Duranko in the 109.
Starting in position number 5 here tonight is the 55 of Steven Spees, and to the outside, the 24 car, Kyle Moonen.
To the fourth row, it's Kyle Parker on the inside in the 13. Next to him, the 123 of Fast Lane, Lane Snook.
Rounding out your top 10 starters is going to be Steve Shaw Sr. to the inside of row 5 in car 54. To the outside, the 513 car, that is Jeffrey Barker.
Row number 6, it's John Hine on the inside in the 71. Next to him, the 62 of Rory Collins.
Starting 13th here tonight is the 322 of A.J. Abreu. To the outside, the SPGC 3D printing car 14 of Tom Taylor.
Going from 15th, that's the 35 of Connor Ross. And outside of the 8th row, the 117 of Troy Stewart.
Inside of row 8 is going to see Chad Cody in the 11 car. To the outside, the 00, that is Nicholas Vickery.
10th row, Terry Landis, the 661 on the inside. G.J. Boydell in the 014 starts 20th.
Starting 21st here is Jeffrey Kemper in car 181. To the outside, the 79 car of Andrew Smith starting 22nd.
12th and final row, Chris Steele, car number 80 on the inside. Outside, it's Chase Hess piloting the 767. That's your SPGC 3D printing lineup for the main event tonight for the big blocks here at the Volusia Speedway.
As our good friend Jerry Van Sickle would say, your stars and cars here tonight for Thursday Night Thunder. Who's going to bring home the Gator here tonight from the Volusia Speedway? Well, we've got 30 laps and 24 cars to find out.
Boy, this is a really good field here tonight at Volusia, but you know, you got to look at this guy outside the front row, the 15S of Justin Sick here. He sits number 2 in the point standings. He's got Kyle Parker starting a little bit deeper in the field here tonight, back there in the 4th row. If Sick can get away on this one, we could have quite the points battle when we roll to Week 10 next Thursday night. Right now, though, Scotty, 30 times around, it's time to get it on from Volusia.
I'm hearing Thunderstruck from AC/DC in my head as the green flag flies here at Volusia. And like you said, Sean, look at Justin Sick shooting out to the race lead now down the backstretch into turn number 3. What a great start from the 15 car.
Jesse Atkinson runs position number 2 as Sick immediately out to nearly a half-second lead on the opening go-round here from Volusia. Look at this battle for third. Alan Duranko in the 109 piloting around the outside of Tom Gom in the 32. Here comes Kyle Moonen into that mix with Lane Snook following him. Kyle Parker still stuck back there in the 8th spot. 2 laps in, 28 to go. Let's go on board with the 123 of Lane Snook as he makes his way around the speedway here at Volusia. Gets a run right to the outside of Tom Gom, and he is coming for a spot in the top 5.
Trying to split him here through turns 3 and 4, almost 4 wide for a split second, but they will go 3 wide. Lane Snook trying to maneuver his way through some cars using the middle to bottom line. Kyle Moonen right in front of him, trying to get a run to the inside as we take a peek back at Kyle Parker. Parker trying to use the outside to gain some momentum, but out in front, it's all Justin Sick, still with the race leading car 15, 3 wide.
Well, I got to tell you right now, Scotty, I'm looking back at Kyle Parker in the 8th spot, and I just saw a peek of another driver, Steve Shaw Sr. Jeffrey Barker follows him, and then A.J. Abreda not too far out of that. So from the B main, Abreda knocking on the door of a top 10 run here is, oh boy, they're 3 wide back there with the 13 of Kyle Parker. Parker through the middle, Steve Shaw Sr. and the 513 of Jeffrey Barker in that battle. They're also now racing with Tom Gom. It is getting wild here in the second 5.
That it is as they come into turns 1 and 2, 2 by 2 they come. Looking at Kyle Parker and Steve Shaw Sr. Lane Snook, though, he's made up a few spots along with Kyle Moonen. Great battles going on all throughout the field here as we're looking at Ala Duraco in the 109 trying to get a run to the inside of the racetrack.
Can't do so. Tom Gom right behind him. Steve Shaw Sr. in the 8th spot. Kyle Parker now runs 9th. He's kind of stuck on the high side of the speedway. A.J. Abreda into the top 10 now after that B main run with his 322 machine. Kyle Parker all over the racetrack. Meanwhile, out front, Justin Sick continues to lead this one by 1.3 seconds, but there is a race for the second position. The 135 of Jesse Atkinson, he has been running there since the drop of the green, but Lane Snook looking to make his 6th pass of the event. He will do so down the front straightaway. Atkinson takes it back, but it's momentary because Lane Snook back around the outside. Started 8th, he's now 6th, and coming with him is Kyle Moonen.
123 car around the outside, gets that second place spot. Kyle Moonen, though, in tow as he's coming to call around the outside, too. It is Snook, Moonen, and Atkinson. Steven Spees in the mix now. That is 2, 3, 4, and 5. Justin Sick still leading in the 15.
All of this happening about a second behind your race leader. That is Justin Sick. Lane Snook, Kyle Moonen side by side, a pair of teammates running for that position in P2, just in front of Atkinson. Still Spees in the top 5. Alan Duranco runs in 6th. Steve Shaw Sr. is in the 7th spot as we've got a yellow over the speedway for the first time here tonight. By the way, A.J. Abreda, Jeffrey Barker, Tom Gom in the top 10 there at the time of caution. Looks like trouble for Rory Collins out here on the speedway. And Nicholas Vickery. Those two drivers got together to put us under this Malcolm's Mills mill riding caution flag.
And I want to remind you, Malcolm's Mills mill riding, say that 3 times fast, based out of Oakland, Ontario, Canada, full-service mill riding contractor featuring custom welding and fabricating and servicing industrial clients. Check them on out at mmmillriding.com.
So glad to have them, their continued support with the GForce Racing Leagues. Also, we've got our Cool Rays, Cooling, Heating, Plumbing, and Electrical Hard Charger Award up for grabs here tonight. Of course, Cool Ray's mission is to continue to build long-lasting relationships with their customers through their winning spirit and commitment to 100% satisfaction. It's guaranteed. They are so proud of their reputation of providing excellent service to homeowners and businesses across the state of Georgia at Cool Rays, Cooling, Heating, Plumbing, and Electrical. Tonight's racing action also brought to us in part by Mr. Plumber, Atlanta's most trusted name in plumbing and drain services. That's Mr. Plumber, a proud supporter of the GForce Racing Leagues. Justin Sick iRacing Photos, also a supporter of the GForce Racing Leagues. Congratulations to Brian Moore Sr., who is our driver of the week. He did so, earn the honors by going from 24th in the Renegades race last week and passed 16 cars. That's your Justin Sick iRacing Photos driver of the week. As we get the field set, double filed up just over a third of the way through this feature event. Justin Sick, he's been out front since the drop of the green here, Scotty, but look at Lane Snook. He has gained 6 spots and restarts P2.
Not what Justin Sick wanted to see was that caution, but as the green comes out, another great restart from that 15 cars. He can use the inside line, Snook up top, Moonen down low. Moonen and Snook put up one heck of a battle Monday night with the SPGC 3D Printing Renegades trading slide job for slide job all throughout the A feature, but Moonen would walk away with the win in the end. He now sits third as Lane Snook sitting in second. Justin Sick leads the way.
Look at A.J. Abreda. He is going for the 7th spot, making it look like he's racing for the 6th spot here as he comes after the 54 Steve Shaw Sr. and the 55 of Steven Spies. A.J. Abreda has gained 6 spots in this one after coming from the B main, and it is on the verge of making it into the top 5. So that 22 machine hooked up on the bottom of the speedway. And we talked about the mental part of this game. Look up towards the podium spots here now, Scotty. Jesse Atkinson, he has changed lines. He's gone to the top, and he now runs in the 3rd position, has kept Kyle Moonen behind him since this restart.
That he has. 135 cars found something different, and look at him gain on Lane Snook down the backstretch now into turn number 3 and 4. Can Atkinson get the run he need to push back by the 123 of Snook to reclaim that 2nd spot as Sick still leading? We saw Tom Gom in your screen trying to make a move on Steven Spies. A.J. Abreda still there along with Steve Shaw Sr.
Yeah, Abreda was into the top 5. Spies trying to take it back. No. A.J. Abreda from the B main. He's gained 8 spots. He's in the top 5, and he's coming after Kyle Moonen. We'll keep an eye on this number 22 machine, the Dry Zone Racing Basement and Crawl Space Professionals, number 22 of A.J. Abreda, really ripping through the field as he is all over Moonen as they head to turn 1.
You see him hit that top shelf now, changing the line down to the bottom now through the middle, trying to get a run on Moonen as the caution flag comes out. Wow.
Oh, no. Trouble for G.J. Boydell and Tom Gom to put us under this Malcolm's Mills mill riding caution flag with just over 1/3 of this feature event to go. But oh, Scotty, this is going to change it up a little bit here because we've seen some weird things going on tonight and a lot of passing happening. I'm not sure if Justin Sick, I would be curious to know how confident he is under the helmet of that thing because he's got Lane Snook right there behind him. Atkinson has changed lines and has been fast. Kyle Moonen, you never can count him out. And then A.J. Abreda, you can bet that the spotters for Justin Sick and those other drivers in the top 5 are saying that Abreda and that 22 machine is coming fast.
Definitely hauling the mail here in that 22 car. So anything can happen with 12 laps to go when we go back to green flag racing. The way Abreda's been running, he's been using the entire track to his advantage to navigate to where he is right now. It wouldn't surprise me if that 22 of Abreda puts it on the podium here.
Entire track and then some. He has used it all here tonight to make his way through the field from his deep starting spot here into the top 5. So, wow, what a night it has been here already at Volusia, and we still have more than 1/3 of the feature event to go. We'll have 11 green flag laps when we come back to the racing flag off of turn number 4. Justin Sick, he has shown the way since the initial green flag. Hard charging Lane Snook right there with him. Atkinson making the correct adjustments. Restarts 3rd. Kyle Moonen, he's gained a couple of spots to run there in 4th. Spies and Abreda, they'll be side by side from that 3rd row when we refire them here in turn number 4.
Great racing here from the Volusia Speedway, as Justin Sick has taken a bite out of the competition so far. We'll see what happens here with 11 laps to go. Now look at him, 3 deep now off of turn number 2. Atkinson and Snook. And here comes Abreda, 3 wide now into turn 3.
Abreda got a huge run off of turn number 2. They're 3 wide still down the front straightaway. Abreda on the bottom, Atkinson in the middle, Snook on the top. Now they get it down to that calm side-by-side racing here. And now the 135 of Atkinson, he thought about making it 3 wide. He'll do it again as they go to turn number 3. They're stepping 3 wide right behind him. Look at them fanned out all over Volusia as we've got 9 laps to go.
5 wide off turn number 4, Sean. 4 wide now coming into turns 1 and 2. Abreda up to that 2nd place spot. Atkinson in 3rd. Snook shuffled back to 4th and 5th. And here comes Abreda on the top shelf, bringing Atkinson with him, trying to get a run and run down the 15 of Justin Sick.
They're 3 wide just behind the podium. Kyle Parker, Kyle Moonen, Lane Snook 3 wide, and we've got trouble down in turn number 1, and the yellow is out.
Wow. What?
Incredible.
What a run by Abreda.
There's a car on its side down there in turn number 1, and I am afraid that is Steven Spies. It is Steven Spies with trouble in turn 1. So the Gambler Motorsports 55 had a good run going tonight, and it has been put on the hook and taken pit side, and it drops down to position 22. Wow, that is a big change. Wow. Here's a look at your Malcolm's Mills replay here. Steven Spies in the 55, and looks like Lane Snook there as well. A little rubbing as they got down into turn 1, and the result of it, well, you see it. Trouble there for Spies in the 55, and that puts us under this caution. Just the third caution of this feature event, but wow, that last green flag run, Scotty, almost breathtaking how much battling was going on there. Always kind of within the top 5.
Yeah, and AJ Abreda, the run that he got, he is now currently up 11 spots, sitting in second place. Jesse Atkinson in third. Parker is up to fourth. Kyle Moonen is fifth, and Lane Snook getting knocked out of the top 5. He shuffled all the way back to sixth.
Wow, things changing here, and we still have a good number of laps to go on this one, Scotty. So still plenty of changes could happen in this feature event as the field stays single file. So it looks like we may have a single file restart coming our way here. Sick, Abreda, Atkinson, Parker, Moonen, the top 5 as we get set for that green flag off of the 4th turn.
You got to wonder what Justin Sick is thinking. Abreda has been using every inch of this track to get to where he is at. So what do you do if you're Sick? Do you protect the bottom? Do you go up top or run through the middle? He's been having great restarts like he has on the drop of this green flag here. Looks like he will protect the bottom to middle line, and Abreda is just going to follow him in that second place spot. Just a little over a handful of laps to go. Will we see Abreda make a move? We'll find out here in the closing laps here tonight.
Interesting to see Abreda follow Sick right now because he's been really making up time on the very bottom of turn 2. He'll make a dive down there. Slide job for the race lead. Contact and a new race leader as they'll head back down the back straightaway. Sick to the inside. Will he throw the slider? No, he sticks the bottom. Side by side for the top spot as we come off turn 4. Sick back to the lead, but does he hold it when we get back to 1? Sick on the bottom. Abreda through the middle. Now he'll grab the cush. We're still door to door down the back chute, Scotty.
Door to door for the race lead, and look who's lurking in third, Jesse Atkinson. Side by side for the race lead. Atkinson thought about putting it through the middle, but then thought better of it. Sick and Abreda battling here. Sick was using the top side, now forced down to the bottom. He'll tuck tail now behind the 322 of Abreda, your new race leader, coming through turns 3 and 4. Come to 3 laps to go, Sean.
3 laps to go, and AJ Abreda has passed 12 cars in this main event. He passed 7 cars in the B main. He has been a passing machine tonight and looking for his 3rd win of the season. Justin Sick still in hot pursuit. Atkinson now with his hands full of Kyle Parker, who's come to life here in the final stage, up to the 4th spot. Kyle Moonen still in the top 5, but out front, AJ Abreda still showing the way. A lap and a half to go from Volusia.
Coming into turns 3 and 4, we will see the white flag fly, this time by Kyle Parker sitting in 4th. He would love to see a podium here tonight as well. White flag flies one more time around for AJ Abreda. Stick in 2nd, Atkinson in 3rd, Parker in 4th. Into turns 3 and 4 for the final time. Who is going to get the checkered flag and the gator here tonight? It is going to be AJ Abreda picking up the win. 2nd goes to Justin Sick. And I believe Atkinson with your top 3.
Absolutely. Wow, what a run here tonight. And, well, no mystery who the Cool Rays Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing and Electrical Hard Charger Award recipient is going to be tonight. That is your winner, AJ Abreda, 12 positions gained in the feature. He'll park it here at the Volusia Speedway Victory Lane, and we'll talk to him and the rest of your podium finishers as we get set to head down to the Epsilon Sprint Wraps podium presentation here at the Volusia Speedway. What an event here tonight, Scotty, and a lot of fun with these drivers as we'll get your official finish rolling on the screen here. And what a night it was here at the Volusia Speedway. Taking a look at the results here this evening. Your feature winner going to be AJ Abreda. He goes plus 12 to do so. Justin Sick, Jesse Atkinson, Kyle Parker, and Kyle Moonen going to round out the top 5 here tonight.
Alan Duranco plays 6th, Connor Ross in 7th, Nicholas Vickery plus 10, by the way, in 8th, Lane Snook in 9th, and Jeffrey Barker rounding out your top 10.
Finishing in the 11th spot was John Hines. Steve Shaw Sr. was 12th. Chris Steele also gained 10 spots here tonight. He finished 13th. Terry Landis was 14th, and Andrew Smith completing the top 15.
Chad Cody 16th, Tom Taylor 17th, Jeffrey Kemper 18th, GJ Boydell in 19th, Tom Gum rounding out your top 20.
They're followed by Troy Stewart, Steven Spees, Rory Collins, and Chase Hess here tonight at the Volusia Speedway. Well, let's waste no time. Let's head on down to the Epsilon Sprint Wraps podium presentation. And Scotty, it looks like you are catching up with tonight's third place finisher, Jesse Atkinson, pilot of the 135.
Jesse, a crazy race here tonight. How fun is it to come to Volusia and race with these guys in these big block modifieds?
It's a thrill, especially with racing with people like AJ Alberta and Justin Sick. They're really quick out here. I knew I didn't think I had the speed to catch up with them, but I know I had the speed to stick with them. So I was just trying to hang on to the top 3 for the entire race, and I guess I held on to it.
With these fixed setups, does it really give like an equal playing field to all these drivers here?
Yeah, it does. It's with these fixed setups, it's mostly about learning how to drive in the slick, finding lines that'll make you quick here. So
we saw you use the bottom side of the racetrack early on, then change your line. What was going through your head with those line changes? And then we saw you get shuffled back a few spots, but then ultimately coming home podium finish here tonight.
Yeah, the inside seemed to be working really well when there wasn't much slick, especially in the heat. Then as the feature went on, I saw the inside line just wasn't getting as quick, and I look in my mirror and there's people catching up to me that's running the outside. So on one of the restarts, I finally decided just to chuck it up to the outside. And then on one of the restarts, I got shuffled back a few positions, but got them back in a couple of laps and just rode the outside and hoped for the best.
Definitely a great performance here tonight for the 135 car. Who do you have to thank for putting this car on the podium here tonight?
I got to thank Adria Sim Sport, Atkinson Designs, iRACING Sport, 2K Racing. I got to thank my family members for watching tonight. I got to thank you guys for broadcasting this race tonight. It was a thrill to be racing here, and also thanks to the GeForce for putting these races on.
So once again, your third place finish here tonight, the 135 of Jesse Atkinson. Congratulations week.
Thank you.
Moving on to our runner-up here tonight is the sits second in the points currently. That is the 15 car of Justin Sick, and he is standing by with Sean Easted. Sean?
Justin, such a strong car in the first part of this race, but I hate to use the term, it sometimes gets overdone, but kind of a sitting duck when your car was so good and you just kind of got all alone by yourself out there and eventually got chased down.
Yeah, man, it's unfortunate, man. The yellows really had a damper on my night, but the car felt good. The last yellow come out, and I looked to my right. I saw AJ there, and I was just like, oh man, this is it. I was having a good run on the bottom. That's where I like to run here, and that went away after a while. So I was kind of searching all over the place really for something, and those yellows really just wrecked my night, kind of.
When you get out front like that early on, what are you telling yourself not to get too confident in the first stage of that race? Because that green flag dropped and that 15S, man, boom, gone.
Yeah, I just try to stay calm for the most part. When I'm having a good race, I just try to stay calm, hit my marks, and I timed the green just right. It dropped, I went, and I was hoping just to, keep the throttle under control, stay in the moisture, and go. And like I said, the yellows, man, the yellows had a big play.
Yeah. Now we're getting down to the thick of things. You come into tonight number 2 in the point standings, trailing Kyle Parker by 20 points. Not sure how close that you followed that stuff at this point of the season, but a good run tonight, putting it on the podium. You've got USA, Weed Sport, and Cedar Lake ahead. Are you thinking about championship stuff, or are you just one race at a time still?
Oh yeah, I'm definitely thinking about it. Kyle and I have been going back and forth here for a little bit. I was trying to hold it off, but I've been having, a rough few weeks, and the next few tracks should be pretty good. I like all those tracks, so just stay calm, do my thing, and hopefully I can get a #1 spot out of this.
Who do you got to thank for the podium run in P2 here tonight?
The Firm Motorsports, that's the team I'm with. They're great guys over there. ABR setup shop, night, so it doesn't really, count for this, but he helps us out big time. Apex Auto Glass and Tinting, Mason's Transport, GForce. I love running with these guys. It's a great time. You guys for putting on a great show. My girlfriend, she sits here and listens to me yell at the TV all night long. So it's good stuff, man.
All right, congratulations, Justin, on a strong run here tonight.
Thank you.
Justin Sick, your runner-up here tonight at Volusia, and wow, let's talk to this next guy, Scotty. How many cars did he pass here tonight? Well, 19 in the feature action. That's AJ Breda standing by with Scotty DeYoung.
AJ, such a great run here tonight. 8 spots in the consolation feature, 12 spots here in the A feature. In just a few words or less, how would you sum up here tonight here in Victory Lane at Volusia?
Oh, incredible, man. Absolutely incredible.
Early on in the consolation feature, you seem to find something on the racetrack that's like not too many other people figured out early on. Navigating through the field, what was that like here tonight in this A feature, and ultimately running down Justin Sick for the win?
Yeah, I was in the B main. I found that the slider line of 1-2 was really good, and I made the last lap pass for the win there, and I kind of got hung out to dry on the bottom for the first 10 or 12 laps there before we got the first yellow. And I was trying to make as many moves as I could to try to get up. And I got up to, I think, like 8th around the bottom. And I knew I needed to change something up if I had any shot at winning it. And I luckily was able to get to the top a couple times and make some passes there. And I got some clean air to run my slider line going into 1 and then rip 3 and 4 right around the top. And it was awesome. I even bottom fed a little bit. Like, the track was so racy tonight. You could really go anywhere if you had the room for it.
When you're coming through a B feature like that and then starting deeper in the field in the A feature, what does that do mentally to you to make sure that, you're hitting your marks, making your moves, trying to find where the car's working properly on this track? What is going through your head at that time?
You're really thinking about just like where and kind of predicting where other cars are going to go. Like, you're sitting on the starting lineup and you're just hoping, okay, I hope this guy goes here, and so I can maybe slip by here. If this doesn't happen, I can go here. And you really just are thinking of multiple different things inside your head that you can do in order to get up front. You never really want to think about wrecking. I know that sometimes people have that cross their minds, but like, that's one thing that I try not to let get into my head. I just try to go for it and hope to win.
And that you did tonight. Who do you have to thank for putting this 22 car here in Victory Lane here at Volusia?
Oh man, I got to thank my parents. They brought me up around racing. That's where my love of racing started. Got to thank TID Excavating, Dry Zone Racing, Rebel Breda Snap-on Tools, all the sponsors, the Carl LaMonica's restaurant. So I'm sure there's some I'm forgetting, but they all helped me out really much.
So after the dust settles and the final checkered flag flies, AJ Breda is your A feature winner here tonight for your Epsilon Sprint Wrap Big Block Modifies. Congratulations on taking home the Gator tonight, and good luck next week.
Thank you.
Sean, what a crazy night here at Volusia, and AJ Breda, not only your hard charger, but your victor here tonight at Volusia Speedway, and wow, what a night.
What a night. Breda is going to pick up his 3rd win of the season with the GeForce Racing League's Epsilon Sprint Wraps Big Block Modifieds. What a season he is having with that machine. By the way, that is his 8th career win in the GeForce Racing Leagues as well. So congratulations to him. Another solid night in the books. Now, Scotty, we get to turn the page and look forward to the next events. Of course, I have to even think about what night of the week it is right now. The racing season has started. I don't even know where I'm at or what I'm doing. I know I'm doing a race. Tomorrow night, the VMR Wraps late models. They will be live on GeForce Esports. You can tune in and watch that. Next week, of course, Monday and Thursday, the Renegades 360 Sprints. They'll be on Monday night. These big blocks on Thursday night there at the USA Speedway for Week 10 action here on GeForce Esports. And between now and then, Scotty, you and I have a whole bunch of real races out in the real world. Feels good to be heading out there into the real world and doing races because I've had some memories pop up on my social media the last few days that shows last year at this time we were in a completely different world. So great to be heading to the real racetracks here in the upper Midwest of the U.S.
Absolutely, and you just hit the nail on the head there, Sean. So much has changed from where we were last year to now, and so glad we can finally get some racing in here in 2021. Cannot wait. Looking forward to working with you on Saturday at I-90 Speedway. And folks, you can catch it all on www.advantageracing.tv, who also brought to you tonight's production.
All right, that's going to wrap it up for the racing here tonight at Volusia. Big thank you to all of the sponsors. Big thank you to our drivers and the folks behind the scenes making the GeForce Racing Leagues run without a hitch. Also, a big thank you to Ryan Dugan from AdvantageRacing.tv. He's running the production truck tonight and bringing us the broadcast. Thank you, Ryan. Always a pleasure working with you. For Scotty DeYoung, I'm Sean Neistat saying good night. God bless, and we'll see you back at the track real soon. Goodbye, everybody.